If you ask Selena Gomez to describe all of her past relationships, she says she can sum them up in a simple word: curse. But will her future ones also be on the same definition? Selena Gomez quickly rose into stardom after her early beginnings as an actress on Disney, later turning to music and becoming one of the most best-known artists in the world. However, her love life hasn't been so fortunate since the very beginning. In fact, it seemed to be the complete opposite of her professional life. That's why some think, including Selena herself, that she might actually be cursed. So let's start at the beginning and see if we can confirm this. Her first public relationship was in 2008 when she dated Nick Jonas. At the start, everything seemed to be amazing and both of them looked in love. She even said that he was charming, but then they broke up and both said it was because they were pretty young at the time. However, this is not what tabloids reported after the breakup. According to them, they went their separate ways because Miley Cyrus was also in the picture. But now we might never know. However, Selena didn't spend much time suffering about it, and she quickly moved on to the next on the list. She moved on with Taylor Lautner in 2009 when he was at the highest point of his career, just a year after the first Twilight movie was released. But why didn't this relationship last? Selena said in an interview, "We would go out to lunch and dinner, but I knew he had paparazzi following him and I had paparazzi following me. People were getting a little crazy about us, but he's so sweet. Taylor made me so happy, I didn't know I could be that happy." Still, it didn't last and each of them went their separate ways. Now starts the fun part and the one almost everyone is familiar with: Justin Bieber. In 2010, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber officially became a couple. They dated on and off for several years and the relationship finally ended in 2018 when Justin married Hailey Bieber. But during those on and off moments, both of them dated other people. For example, Orlando Bloom, who Selena dated back in 2014. According to the tabloids, that relationship was completely out of spite to their exes because both of them wanted to make them jealous. Selena was doing it for Justin and Orlando was trying to get back at Miranda Kerr, but obviously when confronted, both of them denied the allegations. After that, no one knows what happened to Orlando, but Selena went back to Justin as soon as she split from Bloom. Of course, it didn't last long again and they broke up a couple of months after. Selena was then linked to famous DJ and music producer Zedd in 2015. Zedd was interviewed about the relationship a couple of years after he dated Selena and said, "Reporters were calling my parents, people were hacking my friends' phones. I was pissed, though I kinda knew what I was getting myself into. She is one of the most talked about people in the world, but I had no idea how much that would change my life." After this relationship, it gets a little blurry and there aren't many known details, but it is alleged that during 2015 and 2016, Selena dated Niall Horan and Samuel Frost. It's safe to say those also didn't end very well, so she went on to date Charlie Puth, who wasn't very happy once it ended. In an interview, he said there were more downs than ups in that relationship. He said, "It was very short-lived, very small, but very impactful, and it really messed me up. I'm trying to put this the best way possible. It wasn't like I was the only person on her mind, and I think I knew that going in." After this point, it seems Selena started noticing the pattern that was evident in her relationships, and in August of 2016, she finally hinted at the possibility that she might have been cursed. In an interview with Vogue Australia, she opened up about everything and mentioned that she wanted to settle down with someone a little less famous, but admitted that it was difficult because generally those kind of men were intimidated by her fame. She said, "People would think it's kind of dumb to date me. Nobody want to throw themselves into that situation where it was so heightened publicly. Like, why would they? I'd be so stoked with a low-key actor, writer, or producer, but those kinds of guys are terrified of me." Since she wasn't able to make the low-key relationships work, she continued to date high-profile celebrities who also didn't work out. For example, The Weeknd. The two became a couple in January 2017 and dated for almost a year. In fact, this time it seemed like she had finally found the one, but the curse hit again, and in October of that same year, fans noticed that The Weeknd had unfollowed her from social media. Selena was later seen hanging out with Justin again, and everyone finally understood what happened between her and The Weeknd. So naturally, The Weeknd seized the opportunity and wrote songs about it. A good example is Thought I Knew You, where the lyrics say, "Tell me why you let me come inside for real. Never mind, you were never mine for real." Which was a clear shot taken at her, hinting that she was never really over Justin. So now that things had gone the way they did, she committed to Justin once again, but even that didn't end well for her when Justin broke up with her to marry Hailey Baldwin. After this breakup, she decided to focus on herself and stay single for a while to see if the curse would finally disappear, thinking that if there is no man in her life, there is no curse. During that time, an insider spoke to US Weekly and said, Selena is focusing on her mental health and has been reading, exercising, eating well, and spending time with her close friends and family. She isn't necessarily looking to date right now. She's paying most of her attention to her own well-being and doesn't want that infringed upon. She's great and in a really good place. Later in 2019, in an interview with Zach Sang, Selena spoke about her life for the last 2 years and confirmed she had been single all that time. However, she did admit she was looking forward to her next relationship and wanted something completely different from her previous ones. She said she wanted real love with lots of communication and no drama involved. In an interview in January 2020, Selena finally spoke about her relationship with Justin and claimed that it had probably been the worst of them all and also the reason why her other relationships never worked. She also opened up about everything she had to endure with Bieber and how badly she was treated in that relationship, which really affected her for life, even in other aspects. She also claimed she was finally taking steps in the right direction and said, I think that it's something that I had to find a way to understand it as an adult, and I had to understand the choices I was making. As much as I definitely don't want to spend the rest of my life talking about this, I'm really proud that I can say I feel the strongest I've ever felt, and I've found a way to just walk through it with as much grace as possible. So yeah, going in the right direction might be a start, but she still has to find the right person, and that is where the struggle begins. In another interview in March 2020 with Verified, Selena Gomez spoke deeper about her struggles with love and admitted it had reached a point where it really affected her self-esteem and confidence issues. In the interview, she said, Some days when I wake up and I'm annoyed and I'm like, I'm going to be alone forever. But later that year, she appeared in Nikita Yeager's YouTube channel to promote her makeup line, and she revealed that she didn't even see herself ever walking down the aisle. While talking to her and referring to her makeup artist, she joked about her wedding day and said, He'll be doing my makeup for my wedding, you know what I mean, which is never gonna happen. In yet another interview, this time with Vogue in April 2021, she spoke even more about how despite all of her changes, she is still struggling with love and said, I can't meet someone and know if they like me for me. To be honest, I just want to start over. I want everything to be brand new. I want someone to love me like I'm brand new. But now I want to know what you think. Do you believe Selena is still cursed? Do you think she will be able to find real love eventually? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and until next time.